Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Mercury in Leo. Now Mercury will be in Leo from the 25th of July right up until the 1st of October, but it's going to go retrograde, so that's why it's spending this length of time, almost about 6 weeks in Leo, when normally sometimes Mercury only spends 3 weeks in the sign. Sometimes it can spend 4 weeks, but it's going to spend the best part of 6 weeks. No, actually 8 weeks, that's it, 8 weeks in Leo. So yeah, so I'm gonna do what I do, dive really deep, talk about what Mercury in Leo means, the aspects that it's making when it goes into Leo at first, then the aspects that it makes when it goes into retrograde, and then how you can use this energy to help you with your career, educational, spiritual or personal development, as well what it could mean for hookups and committed relationships. So stay tuned. So yeah, when Mercury goes into Leo from the 25th of July to the 1st of October, at first on the 25th of July it will make a conjunction with Mercury, and this is a 420 in reference to the real 420 applying aspect. So picture this: Mercury and Venus join forces, creating the sympathy of charm and eloquence, and this aspect blesses us with smooth communication. So this adds a tint of things going easily, but as you know, with anything in astrology, the bad aspects are coming up, but let's just stick with this. So yeah, positively speaking, this aspect can enhance our ability to express love and affection, making it a good time for romance, creative plans and social connections. But on the downside, be cautious not to get caught up in superficiality or excessiveness, especially in too much food, drink and alcohol taken. So because this conjunction is a harmonious alignment between the planet of communication, Mercury, and the planet of love, beauty and inner values, Venus, this means that people are more likely to express themselves more clearly and eloquently. It is a good time for networking, negotiations and romantic relationships. Because this aspect promotes creativity and self-expression, it makes it an excellent time for writers, artists and musicians to share their talents. Overall, the positive influence of Venus's conjunction with Mercury encourages harmonious relationships, creativity and self-expression. Also, Uranus makes a square to Mercury as it goes into Leo, so we have to brace ourselves for some electrifying energy, which is always the case when Uranus Aquarius energy is involved. While this aspect brings excitement and innovation to the table, it also has the knack for stirring up unexpected disruptions and rebellious impulses that may lay dormant in you and others. So this can bring sudden changes and disruptions in our communication. This can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. It can also make people be more erratic in their behaviour, cause us to have scattered thinking, so it can be hard for us to concentrate and focus right now. It can also make it hard for us to make decisions, and this can result in impulsive actions that can have unattended consequences. But positively, Uranus always allows us to think outside the box, embrace change and break free from old patterns. So it's good for all types of personal, career development, and also to get you going in any creative projects that you may have become stuck on, or scientific, philosophical, intellectual, medical sort of projects, because this Uranus square can bring innovative and creative ideas which can lead to breakthroughs and originality in communication and thinking. It can also bring about unexpected opportunities and experiences that can broaden your perspective. However, be prepared for some mental fireworks and occasional lightning bolts of impulsive decisions. Remember to stay grounded and think twice before jumping headfirst into uncharted territories. So yeah, also when Mercury goes into Leo, it makes a trine to Chiron. This is a separating orb, so this brings a healing touch to our communications, all the communications problems that Uranus brings. This aspect supports Venus's conjunction to Mercury, so it allows us to tap into our deepest wounds and transform them into into wisdom if we're open to it. We always have to apply our minds and practical actions to bring about the positive aspects of all these transits. So Chiron is known as the wounded healer in astrology, and it represents our ability to heal ourselves and others through the experience of sharing pain. With this chime, the energy of Chiron can flow easily and in sync with Mercury, the planet of communication and intellect. All in all, this Chiron trine helps us to communicate with more empathy and sensitivity, and also gives us the chance for self-reflection, understanding and growth. So this can help us, heal our relationship with ourselves and others as well. It encourages us to embrace vulnerability and share our experiences. And this can create a sense of empathy and compassion in our interactions. Still, it's beneficial to approach this aspect with gentle care. While it may provide an opportunity for healing, it can also bring up old triggers on wounds and emotions and memories as well. So, take time out to nurture yourself during this period and seek support if needed. Mercury's trine to Chiron as it goes into Leo offers us over the next 2 months, even though it's going to go into retrograde, which I'll talk about a bit later, a chance for profound, deep, long-lasting personal growth and understanding through communication. Embrace this alignment and explore the depths of your emotions and experiences. Use this opportunity to heal wounds within yourself and in your relationships with others. Allow yourself to express your authentic thoughts and feelings, and know that vulnerability can lead to deeper connections. But keep in mind, as you engage in conversations during this period, to actively listen to others and respect their boundaries. Give them space to express themselves authentically, just as you would like for yourself. So empathy and compassion, understanding that everyone has their own journey experiences, and make sure others don't cross your boundaries as well. Also, as Mercury enters Leo, it makes a trine to the North Node at 5.10 degrees applying, and so it's still, it's starting to, get a bit weaker, but it's still going to influence the whole 2 months Mercury in Leo period. So yeah, Mercury's trine to the Moon's North Node can help us find our direction and purpose in life, or just feel more connected with our inner selves and our inner world at this time. Also, it supports positive communication and making good decisions as well, so counteracting that sort of Uranus square energy I was talking about earlier. It can help us connect with others more effectively, making it easier to build meaningful relationships right now and collaborations. But although this alignment also supports personal growth and the potential for new opportunities to come our way, negatively it also amplifies the downsides of Chiron's trine to Venus. So there's a strong possibility of some challenges coming up for us, especially having to do with past hurts, and people may do things and say things that trigger past traumas or painful memories. But being aware of this and taking care of your emotional well-being will help you, get through this period. Keeping in mind, as I said earlier, while vulnerability can lead to deeper connections, it can also open the door to old wounds and suffering, and can really, throw us off track. So, be gentle with yourself and others, seek support if needed. Overall, the North Node's trine to Mercury as it enters its long time in Leo can bring about a sense of optimism and positivity, making it easier to navigate through any challenges that come up during this period. So in summary of these aspects that's being made when Mercury goes into Leo, Mercury's conjunction to Venus has a positive impact on communication skills, helps us, express ourselves more creatively and be more polite and understanding in personal and professional settings. But Mercury square to Uranus can cause unexpected disruptions and challenges in communication, which can result in misunderstandings and conflicts with others, especially those who have a more traditional in their communication style. Mercury's trine to Chiron helps us heal those old wounds and be open and authentic in communication that can lead to deeper connections with others. And Mercury's trine to the North Node can help us with our personal growth and development, as well as being more effective in our communication, as it encourages us to communicate our ideas and aspirations clearly and confidently. And although, you know, the conjunction with Venus is positive, it can also make us superficial and obsessed with, you know, how things look and being overindulgent, so watch out for that. Also, you know, we can be nervous and have a lack of focus, and Chiron's trine helps with our emotional intelligence, as well as giving us, you know, a deeper sense of connection with ourselves and others. So now I'm going to talk about Mercury retrograde transit. So the transiting aspect, Mercury makes 2 other planets as it enters retrograde on the 23rd of August up until the 15th of September. Okay, so the first one is Mercury making a conjunction to Mars. So this is a good energy for decision making, but it can cause impulsivity. So this conjunction stimulates quick thinking and acting, giving us the necessary courage to take action, which can be quite difficult because Mercury retrograde can make us, you know, slow down, so we can have a push and pull of wanting to go forward, but circumstances, whether they're internal, the way you feel, your moods and stuff, or external blockage to communication, or, you know, delays in paperwork or anything you're waiting for right now could get in the way. Just remember that rash decisions made during this time may cause regret in the long run, so it's good to, you know, take a moment to evaluate the positives and negatives before making any major decisions right now. So overall, Mercury's conjunction to Mars can bring a burst of energy that can be used for productive decision making if done with careful consideration, and also, you know, listening to the signs from inside you or outside you, which may just want you to use this energy to slow down and to nurture yourself and be courageous to heal any difficulties in your relationship, so it can cause them. So just watch out, because Mars energy in conjunction with Mercury can just be fiery, quick, and just, you know, they're both kind of fast moving planets, so just watch out for that. Mercury also makes a trine to Jupiter, so the key themes for this, it's positive for communication and learning, but negative once again for overconfidence. So this energy can just make us a bit too arrogant, but it helps us to be optimistic and curious as well, and also gives us that urge for some of us to want to expand our knowledges. And Mercury's trine to Jupiter can make some of us want to, you know, expand our knowledge and skills and seek out new experiences and new learning avenues, so it's good for sort of career and educational and personal development as well. But on the downside, this aspect can lead to overconfidence, as I said, which can cause problems with taking on too much or making unrealistic plans or just being horrible to others in speech. So it's good to balance your enthusiasm with practicality and a willingness to work with and learn from others right now, rather than assume that you know everything. Keep an open mind and be willing to adjust your approach as needed, and you can make the most of this aspect during Mercury's retrograde. Mercury also makes a trine to Uranus, so this brings innovative thinking, but also can make us distractive and impulsive, so adding to that Mars energy, adding to that Jupiter energy. So, you know, just be cautious in this retrograde period. You may want to move fast because of these aspects, which are going to flavour the whole period for the 2 weeks that Mercury's in retrograde. But just, you know, keep in mind that sometimes for a lot of us, Mercury in retrograde means chill, but if like me, you were born in Mercury retrograde, then you may just not this be in your element. You know, it's when Mercury's not in retrograde when you slow down. So this is your time. So, you know, if you're born with Mercury in retrograde and lots of strong Mercury placements, 3rd house, 6th house, and Mercury, Virgo, Gemini aspects, then maybe you should move fast at this time. How this aspect works, Mercury retrograde, depends on your natal chart and you as a person as well. So this aspect of Mercury's trine to Uranus can enhance our ability to think outside the box and come up with creative solutions to problems, which is always, you know, the plus of Uranus energy. We can be receptive to new ideas and people, so it's a good time to pursue creative, innovative projects. Negatively, we can be impulsive, so, you know, this is amplified, so there's a big chance of impulsivity. Just watch out for that in you and others during Mercury's retrograde. retrograde, but it's also a powerful tool for creative thinking, but it's necessary, as with the Mercury trying to Jupiter, to be practical and to focus to avoid any negative consequences. And then we've got Mercury making an opposition to Neptune, and you know that Neptune always brings delusion, so watch out for manipulation in speech, also overdoing it with drugs, alcohol, overlearning, overdoing anything, overdoing spiritual development, tarot cards, contacting the dead through mediumship, and that. Should always be cautious with all of that anyway, you know, make sure you've got your protection up. But on positive end, Mercury's opposition to Neptune can help us be more creative and also boosts our intuition, and is good for, you know, increasing our spiritual practices and psychic abilities. But on the downside, it can lead to confusion, misunderstandings and deception, whether you're working with the spiritual realm or the material realm, going about your day-to-day life, socializing and stuff, hookups and everything like that. So just be careful that you're not being fooled by others, and you're not fooling others and being deceived during this period as well, or being deceptive yourself. Careful communication, checking facts, getting clarity of what is meant by what is said by someone can help you avoid the negative effects of this aspect, and also channel this energy into healing and getting help with any addiction issues or anything like that. Secrets can come out because, you know, Neptune lives in the 12th house. Pluto also esoterically rules this house as well, so things can get fiery. But I was meant to say Pisces also lives here, so people can be dreamy, unrealistic and naive, so just watch out for that. And talking about Pluto, Pluto is also making a trine to Mercury, so this aspect supports what I was saying about going deep into your subconscious mind and uncovering hidden sort of like truths or traumas that stops you from being your best self. Be gentle with yourself during this time, get help if need be. But on the positive end, you know, this aspect can help us get a better understanding of ourselves and others, especially our communication skills and our creative expression, any blocks to it, how we can improve it as well, which can lead to positive changes in our personal and professional life. However, the negative effects of this energy can lead to power struggles and conflicts with others. So what the Mars, Jupiter and Uranus energy are bringing, this can amplify it, you know. So you've got the terrible force, because, you know, Jupiter negative, you know, expands everything, Mars pushing everything, Uranus electrifying and making everything sudden and unexpected things happening. Then you got Pluto just trying to transform anything and everything in whatever way possible, so just watch out for that. Mercury also makes a biquintal to the North Node right now as well, so this can cause confusion and distractions while add to them, but it is a nice subtle energy to help you align with your life purpose. Also helps with clarity and getting insight into your authentic path and helping you focus on what matters, which is good because there's a lot of, you know, although this is subtle energy, there's a lot of overt aspects making you distractive, so this is really good. So it helps you communicate your ideas and thoughts more effectively. And on the negative, you know, it can add to the distractions and make it unclear about your life directions, so just watch out for that. But all of these aspects always have a flip side, so it's important to be mindful of any distractions or diversions that may take you away from your goals right now, and just be clear and honest in your communication to avoid the misunderstandings and miscommunication which a lot of these aspects brings. Overall, this aspect can be positive. Mercury's biquintal to the North Node. If you stay focused on your goals, be subtle, be gentle, avoid being superficial and take time out if need be. So overall, Mercury's conjunction with Mars allows us to tap into our inner strength and take bold actions towards our goals. The trines with Jupiter and Uranus bring excitement and inspiration, opening up new possibilities for growth and expansion. The opposition with Neptune requires us to confront any illusions or delusions that may be holding us back, as well as trauma or self-destructive habits and toxic relationships that hold us back from finding clarity in our communication and life in general. The trine with Pluto helps us dive deep into our subconscious and uncover hidden truths that can help us move forward, although may be painful at the time. The biquintal to the moon's north node encourages us to take a unique approach to our path forward, trusting our instincts and intuition. Overall, these aspects provide the opportunity for transformation and positive growth if we remain open and willing to navigate through any challenges that come up. So now I'm going to talk about the karmic and past life meaning of transiting Mercury in Leo and Mercury retrograde. So Mercury in Leo carries a vibrant energy that ignites the mind with creativity and self-expression. This transit may consciously or subconsciously bring up past lives where we may have been charismatic leaders or performers, captivating others with our words and ideas, where we naturally shone under the spotlight, using our communication skills to inspire and influence. When Mercury goes into retrograde, it intensifies these karmic traits. It's a time, as I said earlier, when miscommunications can arise, leading to ego clashes and misunderstandings. Past life patterns of over dramatizing, being too dramatic, or seeking attention from others, or even current life traits may resurface during this period of Mercury retrograde. But anything that comes up right now gives us the opportunity for self-reflection and growth. It invites us to explore our past or current life tendencies of seeking validation through external sources, and encourages us to find more authentic ways of expressing ourselves. So during the transit of Mercury in Leo, individuals may experience a surge of confidence and assertiveness in their communication style. Their words can hold power as they effortlessly command attention and captivate audiences. This placement highlights past lives where you may have been like a natural born leader and influence others with strong ideas and arguments. On the other hand, when Mercury retrogrades into Leo, it can bring a temporary halt to this confident and assertive energy. So you may be confident from the 25th right up until of July, that is right up until the 23rd of August, be in your bag, and then things can slow down a bit as we approach this retrograde. So at this time, it'd be good to look into past life patterns of being overly arrogant, prideful, and also pay attention to any clashes of ego and misunderstandings that come up right now. So all in all, this retrograde period, if we do seek validation from external products, services or people, which all of us are guilty of, we have to find more authentic ways of expressing ourselves and fulfilling our needs. So ultimately on the past life karmic level, Mercury in Leo in retrograde and direct wants us to seek validation from within and express ourselves authentically, rather than playing to the crowd, just doing things to get likes and social approval and things like that, and relying on external attention for validation. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a bit more about how Mercury in Leo affects committed relationships and how Mercury retrograde affects them too. Mercury direct in Leo can help us develop open communication and passionate exchanges in committed relationships. It encourages couples to express their desires and ambitions, paving the way for mutual growth and understanding. On the other hand, when Mercury goes retrograde in Leo, it's like a cosmic pause button on all types of relationships. It reminds us to reassess our connections, bringing up unresolved issues to the surface, which we will have to deal with, or everything could be going great from the 25th of July to the 23rd of August, and then something may come up like, deception, not to be scary, or just communication challenges because everything's going slower. But just keep in mind that ultimately while this may create temporary challenges when Mercury's in retrograde in committed relationships, it also presents us with the opportunity to resolve conflicts and strengthen bonds between partners. In hookup relationships, the influence of transiting Mercury in Leo can ignite sparks of passion and creativity. It promotes self-confidence and self-expression and a bold approach to romance. This can help us make memorable experiences, and it's summer right now, so summer loving and all of that. But when Mercury goes into retrograde, it's a important to navigate hookup relationships with caution, as this can bring misunderstandings to them and disrupt the casual nature of these connections. So it's advisable to be mindful of your words and intentions during this time, and just, be honest. If you just see something as a casual thing and the other person wants more, just be as honest as you can and as clear as you can to avoid miscommunications. So in summary, when Mercury's direct in Leo, it can infuse passion and playfulness into committed relationships, adding a spark of excitement, encourages open communication and expression of our desires, and this can help us, strengthen our bonds. It inspires creativity in our partnerships and explore new ways to ignite the flame of love. So it's good for date nights, changing things in the bedroom, just doing art, painting, gaming, dancing, making music together, working out together, acting out, a bit Shakespeare in your front room together, When Mercury is in retrograde for relationships and hookups, this can bring up issues or unresolved conflicts to the surface, challenging the stability of all relationships. And, it's important to be honest and vulnerable when and if this happens. Watch out for miscommunications and tension and disagreements. What this nudges us to do in hookup relationships is reassess our intentions, and for some of you, you may turn hookups into something more meaningful because this is what you crave right now, or for some of you, they may end. It challenges us to communicate more clearly and honestly, and it offers opportunity for reflection and self-growth, and to explore our desires, needs and boundaries. So now I'm going to talk about how Mercury direct and retrograde affect career. So it gives more charisma and enthusiasm to us, so it makes us more optimistic about going for what we want in terms of promotion, or going for that new job, or just focusing on improving our current performance. It's good for networking, self-promotion, and showcasing our talents in a non-attention seeking way. When Mercury's direct, it's good for us to be more bold and innovative in our thinking, but when Mercury goes into retrograde, it can create some obstacles and delays in our career growth. Miscommunications, which is the key word, and misunderstanding, which is another key word of all Mercury retrograde periods, no matter what sign it happens in. So there can be technical glitches and trouble with sending text, receiving email, trouble with technology in a nutshell. So this is a period which is actually good for us to review our goals, refine our strategies, so rethink our plans and make changes to them, double check any important details before moving forward. It is also wise to avoid signing important contracts or launching new projects during this time, as the retrograde energy can throw unexpected challenges into the mix. That being said, Mercury retrograde offers the opportunity for self-reflection, encourages us to look within and identify any areas of your career where improvement is needed. Use this time to re-evaluate your skills and update your resume, and consider alternative paths or opportunity that may align better with your long-term goals. Remember, while Mercury retrograde may create temporary setbacks, it's ultimately a time for growth and transformation. So embracing the challenges that come up during this period can lead to valuable insights and new perspective. During Mercury direct, take full advantage of the vibrant energy it brings. Network with confidence, showcase your unique skills and talents, and pursue ambitious projects that highlight your creativity. Use this time to shine a spotlight on your professional abilities and make bold moves forward towards your career goals. So in summary, both Mercury direct and retrograde have their own impact on career growth. While Mercury direct brings up enthusiasm and charisma, Mercury retrograde calls for introspection and reflection. Both phases should be approached with caution and adaptability, as they can present challenges and unexpected opportunities. During Mercury retrograde in Leo, slowing down and reviewing your career growth and strategies is essential. This is the time to refine your approach, update your skills, and consider alternative paths that align with your long-term aspirations. Okay, and remember, for some of you, it may be best to avoid signing important contracts or launching new projects, as the retrograde energy may introduce unforeseen obstacles. So, you may go ahead while Mercury's direct and start new things, but just be prepared that it may slow down during the retrograde. But when it starts to come out of retrograde on the 15th of September, things will ease up a bit if you are affected. So in terms of educational, spiritual and personal development, Mercury direct in Leo and retrograde can have different effects. So when Mercury enters Leo, it can bring a spark of creativity and enthusiasm to our educational plans. Because this transit encourages us to approach learning with a sense of playfulness and passion, our minds can become more active, seeking out new knowledge, as I said in the intro, and new experiences with fervour, with intensity and hunger and enthusiasm. But when Mercury goes into retrograde, it's like a wise teacher asking us to pause and reflect on our, educational, spiritual and personal growth, and to focus more on inner growth and self-reflection rather than external exploration. So it's time to just chill out a bit, go within, ask yourself how you're feeling emotionally, psychologically. Are your needs being met? How can you improve your emotional and physical health? How you can improve your learning strategies and spiritual strategies and personal development goals and stuff like that. Spiritual growth, in terms of that, it can make us more bold in pursuing our spirituality, more open, and it's a powerful catalyst push for spiritual expansion. We may find ourselves more drawn to philosophical, spiritual, religious teachings for some of you, seeking a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. This transit encourages us to embrace our inner light and express our unique spiritual gifts, especially if you've been avoiding them or hiding and not open to them. Some of you could have your first spiritual awakening. With a spiritual awakening, there's lots of mini ones. Never think that you just have this one big massive event, although that's a triggering event, but you just have to keep on learning and pushing forward. So some of you may push forward during this time as well. It inspires us to be confident, be more self-expressive when Mercury is direct in Leo, especially with sharing your talents to the world, your educational ones, your spiritual ones, or your sharing with others tips for personal development, or watching more online videos or listening to podcasts that discuss these areas as well. So in summary, Mercury direct empowers us to speak our truth and pursue our passions. However, as I said earlier, the focus, turns inward when Mercury goes retrograde in Leo. We are asked to revisit past experiences and reflect on our personal journeys. Mercury in retrograde encourages us to dig deep within ourselves, uncover hidden truths, and gain a deeper understanding of who we are and what we want out of life. So Mercury retrograde invites us to, rethink our goals, explore different paths to learning new things, spiritual and personal development that really align with our passions, authentic ones that is, and our authentic interests as well. And, it's really important during this retrograde phase to take time to reflect on your educational experiences, asking yourself things like, are you pursuing subjects that truly nourish your souls and use all of your skills? A lot of us when we were younger or some stage in our life are scared to use our authentic talents because we were told we're too much or we're not good enough and stuff. So this makes it a good time to explore old talents, to practice again, and know that with practice it will make perfect for you. There may be people better than you at a certain skill, but still you can always improve your level if you're willing to just give yourself a chance. Exploring new subjects and practices or revisiting old ones can expand your knowledge and broaden your perspectives, allowing you to approach your spiritual, traditional or personal education more holistically. Additionally, the retrograde phase of Mercury in Leo encourages us to examine our communication skills within the contents of learning and sharing information. So you can ask yourself questions like, are you effectively expressing yourself and articulating your ideas? This period asks you to refine your communication skill, enhancing your ability to engage with others in an educational sort of setting. As you dive deeper into introspection during this retrograde phase, it is crucial to remember that personal growth and spiritual development go hand in hand with education. Keeping in mind that the pursuit of knowledge should not be limited to textbooks and academic institutions alone. True learning comes from immersing ourselves in experiences that ignite our passions and align with true interests. This can involve exploring alternative educational paths beyond the traditional classroom setting. One other avenue to consider is engaging in practical hands-on learning opportunities during both Mercury direct and retrograde, whether it's through internships, apprenticeships or volunteering. These experiences provide a chance to apply theoretical theory, knowledge into real-world contencies, which is really good because you can spend hours learning things online or in university and school, but it's not until when we apply them in real life that they can, we can see if they really work. By actively participating in and taking responsibility for your lifelong learning, you can gain valuable insights and skills that you can't get through textbooks. Another path worth exploring is seeking out mentors or experts in fields that resonate with your passions and interests. These individuals can offer guidance, wisdom and real life and perspectives that also cannot be found in textbooks. Their experiences, the advice you can get from others, whether it's your mum, dad or any other family member, friend, colleague, whoever. It's the person at the grocery store, at the bus stop or in the queue, who knows where wisdom can come from anywhere. These experiences and advice that you get from others anyway can help you push the boundaries of your current knowledge. In addition, embracing technology as a tool for learning can, greatly expand our educational horizons. There's a lot of fear with AI at the moment, and it is scary, the negative uses of it, but there's lots of positives with technology that can help you learn new things when used in an ethical way. So like online courses, webinars, forums and virtual communities can provide platforms for collaboration and knowledge sharing with individuals from diverse backgrounds and expertise, because sometimes we stay in our comfort zone. Sometimes we need to get out of our boxes and see where all subjects, because I believe every single subject from history to media studies is connected, so yeah. Because if you think of history from a context of studying now, we use social media, so in a historical context, how we use media is kind of like a history sort of, so everything's connected. But anyway, moving up from that, also, keeping in mind that, sometimes it's best to teach yourself as well. Taking the initiative to pursue your own interests and curiosities can lead to a deeper level of understanding rather than just learning from a textbook and stuff, as well as getting out of your comfort zone and embracing new ideas and different perspectives that come from people with different educational, cultural ideologies, who've got different ways of thinking and experiences than you, as it opens ourselves up to new ideas and helps us develop critical thinking, which is really needed in our world today. Also, learning from others and being open to their ways of living and learning and just sharing things also helps us be more empathetic and understanding, and as I said, helps us to be more critical. We say that twice because it's needed right now with all the craziness that's going on in our world today. Remembering that education is not confined to the walls of a traditional sort of like classroom. So Mercury in Leo and retrograde can just help us expand our minds as well. So in summary, transiting Mercury in Leo brings a burst of creativity and self-expression to our educational and spiritual and personal development. We can find it easier to understand complex concepts right now and come up with innovative ideas. When Mercury goes into retrograde, it's best to double check information, be cautious with miscommunications and misunderstandings, and to clarify details as well. In terms of spiritual growth, it encourages us to tap into our inner strength and embrace our unique beliefs and perspectives, as well as exploring what enlightenment means to us, and know that there's 7 billion ways to self-healing and self-enlightenment and spiritual awakening. So never think that someone else's way should be your way as well, because this is when we just get stuck in a loop. It's also a good idea to watch out for ego during this time, which can hinder stop spiritual growth and understanding as well, and just bear in mind that wounds and insecurity with learning can come up, and this can, during retrograde period, this is a sign for you to just slow down a bit as well. On the personal level, Mercury direct wants us to focus on our personal growth and development and being more fiery in the way that we do it as well. And we may become more introspective during Mercury retrograde in terms of our personal growth, reflecting on our past actions and making the changes that this period, sort of like calls for. On the other hand, Mercury retrograde in Leo wants us to reflect on our ego-driven tendencies and encourages us to reassess our communication patterns to ensure that they do not become too self-centered on attention-seeking. This is a time for us to truly listen, not just speak, and to practice humility in our interactions. It is also important to remember that Mercury retrograde periods are often associated with miscommunications and misunderstandings. Things can go wrong with technology. It can glitch, phones, emails being delayed, transport, everything being delayed, important meetings and all of that. So just watch out for that and just be cautious when making important decisions or signing contracts as well. But like I said, if you feel like you can go ahead during Mercury retrograde, then go fast by all means. But ideally, especially if you get the inward cord, it's best to use this time for self-reflection and slowing things down as well, and harnessing the powerful energy, harnessing the energy of Leo to ignite or relight our creative spark and step into a more authentic versions of ourselves. So this is basically what Mercury and Leo wants us to do, be a bit more graceful and self-aware, and if we do this, we can become stronger, more inspired, and be more ready to shine our light brightly upon the world without being too dramatic about it. So yeah, that's my analysis of Mercury direct in Leo and Mercury in retrograde, which happens from the 25th of July right up until the 1st of October, with Mercury going into retrograde from the 23rd of August to the 15th of September. So yeah, take care.